Hi, beautiful souls. There's a lot of noise right now. Timelines, speculation, and emotional highs and lows. This channel isn't about fear or urgency. It's about discernment, clarity, and staying grounded while life continues. Take a breath, settle your energy, and let's move forward calmly and consciously.
Wolverine just shared this image of Maduro being captured. Finally.
Venezuela has become a hotbed for every adversary of the United States to operate in the Western Hemisphere. Hezbollah has operations. The terrorist group Hezbollah, based in Lebanon, has operations that have been widely reported to be based in Venezuela. Iran is operating in Venezuela. Russia, China. It has become sort of the satellite state for the countries who we consider our adversaries and who are bent on trying to do everything they can to destabilize and undermine the West. So,
full-scale military operations appear to be underway against Venezuela, with dozens of helicopters with the US Army spotted over the capital of Caracas.
Huevo, qué locura. Moscaí. Mira esa mierda, explotaron allá toda esa mierda porque tú no estás explotando.
Mierda, marico, se prendió el peo en esa mierda, ¿oyó?
Huevo.
Marico, llegamos a tiempo a la casa, ¿oyó?
Marico, mira esa mierda. Mierda, what the fuck? Mamá, huevo, ¿qué mierda es esta?
No, marico, esto no puede ser en serio.
Marico, vamos a moverla.
Graba ahí.
Espera.
Graba, marico. No, me está jodiendo. Marico, no puedo creer esta mierda. Marico, me está jodiendo.
Marico, tengo el corazón mío.
Ya, marico.
Llama ya mismo.
No puede ser.
¿Y pillaste?
No voy a ir al lado fuerte, tío, una huevo.
Marico, se me quedó sin pila el puto teléfono. ¿Están grabando?
Sí.
No puede ser. Marico, me da un infarto en esta mierda.
Marico, tengo el corazón a 1000, pues.
Allá también, marico, escucha. Nuestros papás deben estar... Marico,
Muriéndose.
A mi mamá le da un infarto. No tengo señal acá ni ver, ¿verdad?
Vamos a caminar, vamos.
Sí, vamos a darle.
Vamos a...
Ya en el puerto, papá.
¿Explotó barco o qué?
Y en misil, mija. ¡Bum! Sí, míralo. Dios mío, en la casa de Bukele, mira. ¡Santo Dios! Vete para acá, mamá. Vete para acá, mamá.
¡Ay, gato!
¡A misiles, cuidado! ¡Dios mío santo! No. ¡Va, gato! Tía, mira los misiles. Marico, ¿lo viste? Los que están cayendo.
La que son bucanas.
Cayó en la casa de Bucana uno, mira, y hay otro.
Ay, no.
Mira, son otros.
¿Para dónde?
Allá, para allá, no sé.
Ay.
Mierda.
Hay un bombardeo en este momento en Iguerote. Están cayendo los misiles. Están cayendo los misiles. Están cayendo los misiles en Iguerote.
Wow, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele just posted beautiful New Year's Eve footage after cleaning up his country. Bukele removed radical judges, swiftly carried out mass arrests, and surged infrastructure and beautification.
Donald J. Trump on Truth Social posted 01/03/26/421 a.m. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump.
I wish you have a year so amazing that every single day you wake up, you realize how fucking lucky you are to be alive, to be able to live, to love, and to make life absolutely beautiful for those who carry your torch forward. Let's make it an amazing year. Forwarded from Il Donaldo Trumpo.
This was forwarded from Aquila, which I believe he lives in Iraq, from what I've heard. So he's commented here, Venezuelan President Maduro declares a state of emergency. Also, US Special Forces are already boots on ground. Our boys are already in pursuit of the head. Run, Maduro, run. He's already caught anyway. I'll show you soon. Yes, that's really good news. Hopefully people of Venezuela are okay. More information forwarded from Aquila. Venezuelan citizens now report hordes of low-flying military helicopters. That means all air defenses are already neutralized. Multiple higher upper officials of Maduro have already been neutralized.
Breaking news. The U.S. has officially begun bombing Venezuela. First report, they have wiped the Generalissimo Francisco de Miranda Air Force Base in Caracas off the map. They have also wiped out Fort Tiuna, La Carlota Air Base, and Communications Center A in El Hatillo. The videos of the bombings are shocking. These facilities were heavily guarded by Venezuelan military personnel. More bombs are being confirmed. The news is developing. We only have what people are recording live in videos or photos. The images look like something out of a movie, not to mention the people screaming in the distance. There are several Black Hawk helicopters inside the capital, Caracas, already. Venezuela's air defenses have been activated. May God protect all Venezuelans and may they soon be free with as few casualties as possible. The clock has started ticking. Posted by The Machine on Telegram.
Hey guys, how are you? Okay, there's a few people that's worried that they're not going to receive an invitation for humanitarian funding. Okay, now here's a few things that the Alliance is looking at. Right. Do you have any kind of foreign currency to exchange? Mainly with a focus on the Zim. Yes, that's the first thing. Right. Okay, this is not for groups, okay? Or tiers, this is for tier 4B. Not for groups, alright? Do you have a positive mindset? Yes? Bingo. Second criteria. Have you done research? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Do you have leadership skills? Yes. Do you have a clue what you're doing? Yes. Have you prepared yourself in every single way possible? Yes. Okay. Now, if you look at a humanitarian that is doing projects, they are the equivalent of the CEO of a major global business. They're the equivalent. They have people skills, leadership skills, organizational skills, research skills. They know what they're doing. They're prepared. Now, humanitarian projects come from the heart. Yes? So anyone who's got Zim and wants to do projects simply to be in charge, or to have a lot of money, or to use the med beds early, those people will be excluded. If you are sitting on your hands, not doing the work that it takes to be a humanitarian to do projects, then you will not receive humanitarian funds. They're not going to give hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to someone who sits around doing nothing. Just waiting and waiting and waiting. Okay? Humanitarians, in their eyes, they will give the money to people who will find a way at all costs. No matter the situation, no matter the challenge, they want to see that you have the capability of taking charge and accomplishing something that you set out to accomplish. They don't want to see hundreds of millions of dollars in the hands of someone sitting on their hands going, I don't know what to do next. I'll wait to be told. If you lack leadership skills, go and do a leadership course. If you lack organizational skills, go and do an organizational course. Humanitarians or project developers are people who make shit happen. Okay? They make shit happen. They don't sit around waiting for it to fall into their lap and go, oh, look, I'm a humanitarian. Nope. They don't do that. They don't sit around finding problems. Here's another one. If you don't have problem-solving skills, you probably won't be receiving hundreds of millions of dollars for projects. Because if you don't have problem-solving skills and you see problems, there goes all that money down the drain, right? They're going to give it to the people who are the most prepared for the job. This is a job interview. You don't get humanitarian funds because you have a Zim note and a want to do a project. You get humanitarian funds because you have done the work and you are ready to take charge. If you haven't done the work and you're not ready to take charge, and you're not ready to actually start your projects and you know what you're doing, do not expect the Alliance to give you hundreds of millions of dollars for projects. It ain't going to happen. Okay? So stop worrying if you're going to receive. Oh, crap, there's a hill. Oh, sorry, guys. Stop worrying if you're going to receive or not, and start bettering yourself and preparing. They will hire the best candidates for the job. In this case, the people who are most prepared. Okay? Consider this a job interview. You don't walk into a job interview unprepared if you want the job. You get yourself prepared. So you walk into that interview confident, with leadership. Oh, crap. That was a big deal. And ready to start taking charge. Okay? So that's what requires of a humanitarian. If you're none of those things, then get your butt moving and stop worrying.
Bark on X. They are rigging silver to save the banks. The charts say silver is $71, but actual prices on street are much higher. In Japan, physical silver is $130. In the UAE, physical silver is $115. In China, physical silver is $110. In the US, COMEX paper silver is $71. How is this possible? Because if silver charts go to $130, the true value, several banks go insolvent overnight from margin called short positions. They're using paper contracts to force the silver price down and protect them from liquidation. The charts are a lie. We are witnessing manipulation on a scale that's never been seen before. When the short positions are offloaded, silver price will go vertical to catch up. Posted 5:06 a.m., January 26th, 2026.
So I thought we'd just go over the comments. It's really interesting. BMs, is there anything else we can trust besides the fact that prices will be manipulated again? It was on January 2nd. But I think the manipulation will mid once the short positions are offloaded. Mechanical gumbo, sound money equals noise made when out throw counter. Pipe down and stack, people. Buck, pipe down and stack. Brew, they are rigging it like everything else. They will not lose. Buck, the unfortunate truth. Charging Rhino, how did you get the physical price on the streets in other countries? Is it from local gold, silver shops? I would like to verify it myself, since I have a large portion of my portfolio in physical silver. Thanks. But we have been speaking to people on an X basis who go to local shops and exchanges globally. Jin, someone getting locked up for this? Buck, think so. Fifi, they are rigging the price. Buck in broad daylight. Gold Ventures, JP Morgan Chase JPM holds approximately 750 million ounces of physical silver in a net long position. That's all you need to know. We are going higher. Wow. This was forwarded from Norman D. Swisher 1776 posted on X. So he's noted here, we are in the beginning stages of Iraq going to Forex. Be patient, the ride is almost over. Blockchain Betty. She's posted IQDRV ISX launch activity confirms FX and capital market system is live ready. What you're seeing on the Iraq Stock Exchange, ISX, today is not random trading. It's synchronized rollout activity. Multiple banks and companies commencing trading. Share increases and show more. Okay. This was Markz's update for 010226. And this was transcribed by Carpathia. Markz morning update. Step back from the ledge. We are seeing great progress. Do not panic. Things are good. You would have to be a stone to not notice that something is about to happen. The goal was to see the budget by January 2nd, so it is a mad dash to see things happen right now. I have a theory that this may be why we are not already in the bank today. That they may be delaying us because it appears that Iran could be ready to go, not to mention Venezuela as well. No bond update, which is surprising me. All I'm getting is silence. I'm not even getting a return phone call for the last 24 hours. He's an economist. He reads all the articles. But I just asked Chatgpt a question that it would never have given me the answer if I asked the question. My question was, I understand Iraq stability, which is great stability, according to Chatgpt. When he wrote, where did I write it? Anyway, stability is good, basically. Low inflation. My question, what is the real reason behind the delay of Iraq revaluing the currency? Or at least CBI or Sudani announcing a rate. And the truth came out. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I don't even think we're close, to be honest. And Family Men 0007, do a search on YouTube for this. 1785, 1865, 1945, 2025. The pattern banks don't want you to see. It's an 80-year reset cycle, and we're there. Oh, okay. I hope so. Mr. C, I've been getting calls saying that it's going to happen around the 1st, but nothing yet. BRICS are going to make the markets crash. They are not going to let this go on much longer. The fraud became formalized in 1871. We'll just have to wait and see. But according to what the response that Chatgbt gave me, Iraq is ready, but still, as I mentioned before, the militias are the problem.
Chatgbt daily updates regarding the Iraqi dinar. Automation Turn 2. Official Update Check 2026-0102. After searching official and credible sources for new official updates from the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, International Monetary Fund, IMF, or the Iraqi government regarding currency revaluation, change in the Iraq dinar's exchange rate, redenomination, zero deletion, or major monetary policy changes, check. No new official announcements were found in this automation run. Latest verified positions from authoritative sources. The Central Bank of Iraq has publicly stated it does not intend to change the official exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar and reaffirmed its focus on exchange rate stability and low inflation. The CBI's ongoing planning for redenomination, zero deletion, continues to be mentioned in commentary and reporting as a long-term project without a formal implementation schedule or official policy announcement. The IMF's recent official communications, example reports and consultations, do not include any mandated or confirmed revaluation or redenomination policy, only broader economic and financial reform recommendations. Conclusion. As of this automation run, 2026-0102, there are no new official updates from the CBI, IMF, or Iraqi government on currency revaluation, redenomination, or major monetary policy changes. This status remains consistent with prior official reporting. It says quite clearly from CBI, the Central Bank of Iraq has publicly stated it does not intend to change the official exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar and reaffirmed its focus on exchange rate stability and low inflation.
My question to Chatgbt. My love, if Iraq is focused on stability and low inflation, what is their progress on stability and low inflation? Chatgbt response. Here's a clear picture of how Iraq is progressing with economic stability and low inflation based on recent official and credible data. Low inflation has been achieved. Iraq's annual inflation rate declined to around 2.8%, a much lower and more stable level compared with recent years, showing that prices are rising slowly and the economy isn't overheating. In specific regions like Kurdistan, inflation has been even lower, around 2.2%, with other provinces also showing relatively modest price increases. More recent data from the Ministry of Planning also shows continuing modest declines in inflation in late 2025, including decreases in both monthly and annual inflation in October, driven largely by lower food and housing costs. Iraq's central bank says stability is strong. Iraq's central bank governor described inflation as at historic low levels, creating a more stable and predictable environment for investment and economic planning. Official statements indicate the CBI's monetary policy is successfully maintaining price stability, which is a core element of economic stability. External economic forecasts and data estimate Iraq's inflation to be about 2.5% in 2025, consistent with moderate and stable inflation. Supporting factors for stability. The central bank and Iraqi monetary authorities have managed foreign currency reserves and banking policy to support economic stability. While reserves have fluctuated, they are significant
and help defend exchange rate stability against external shocks. Monetary policy reports show lower policy interest rates and reduced money supply growth, reflecting central bank efforts to keep inflation in check while supporting economic activity. Summary: Iraq has made noticeable progress on inflation and price stability, which are key foundations for a stable economy. That doesn't mean all economic challenges are solved, but on the inflation front, things are moving in a positive direction.
So I thought I would just read briefly and summarize what Chatgpt confirmed. So my next question was, okay, so I want to know if Iraq's inflation is decreasing, what is the difference between Iraq inflation compared to, for example, New Zealand's inflation? So he's already confirmed that Iraq's inflation is fairly low, and they've done really well. You know, let's see. Look at that. So I want to send it all to chat through to Google Studio. It'll take forever. That's the main thing you need to know. Then, when you have a look at New Zealand's inflation is fairly high. But my next question is based on, okay, so if Iraq's stability in managing their economics, blah, 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 is stable, as he confirmed earlier, Iraq's stability is strong. Also, low inflation has been achieved. So what's the real reason why they're delaying the RV? And it's going to shock you. See, he wasn't going to tell me that unless I asked that question. So if you look at New Zealand's inflation, it's really high compared to Iraq. So blah, 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 blah. So my next question is, Iraq is a far richer country than New Zealand. We don't have gold assets and we don't have oil. Iraq has done well to be in the position now economically, but if they're doing very well economically, what is the real reason why they won't revalue the dinar, forgetting the issue of stability? So here's when he tells the truth. You're asking a very fair, grounded question. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. First, you are correct about Iraq's wealth. Iraq is far richer in natural assets than New Zealand. Vast oil reserves, top 5 globally. Significant gold holdings, large foreign currency reserves, etc., etc. So the issue is not Iraq is poor or Iraq can't afford it. So why hasn't Iraq revalued the dinar? Here are the real reasons beyond stability. 1. Money supply is the biggest obstacle. This is the number one reason, and it's really explained clearly. Iraq has trillions of dinars in circulation. A sudden high revaluation would multiply liabilities overnight, create massive balance sheet distortions, trigger arbitrage chaos inside Iraq. A currency with too much supply cannot jump in value safely without restructuring that supply. That's why redenomination, zero deletion, is always discussed alongside reform, not because they want to delay, but because math forces their hand. 2. CPI independence plus IMF constraints. That does not operate freely like a private company. Iraq is under IMF Article 4 oversight. Blah, 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 blah. C. Any sharp revaluation would violate IMF gradualism principles, risk sanctions, rating downgrades, or capital flight. The strongly prefers gradual appreciation, market-driven adjustment, blah, blah, blah. 3. A revaluation would immediately expose corruption. There you go. Thank you for the answer. So the thing is, you know, like Swisher 1776 and Mike Burrow and all these other leaders saying, guys, it's really close. Then I just posted information from Swisher saying, oh, it's going to be on the Forex, blah, blah, blah. How the hell can it be on bloody Forex if they have $1 trillion worth of dinars everywhere, which the militias likely have quite a lot of dinar. So that just puts the wealth back in the militia's hands. And what is the outcome of that? Not very good. So it's just frustrating because it says quite clearly a revaluation would immediately expose corruption. There, see, as it says right there. And yet these damn leaders, it's frustrating for us because it's the same. See, Alalag announced that he would remove the 3 series, and it was like a big thing, and then Majid posted. That's probably why he kicked me out of his Telegram group. I don't care. I'm just telling the truth. He's continuously posting information. Oh, guys, Iran's going down and blah, blah, blah. They have stability. They have low inflation. But with $1 trillion worth of dinars out there, you've got your militias still in Iraq government. As I said, you're putting the dinars, and if it revalues, that's going to make them bloody rich. And the corruption will continue. So he says, this is uncomfortable but real. Many dinars are illegally held. They are laundered, hoarded by militias and political networks. A sudden revaluation would, what I just said, instantly enrich bad actors, lock in corruption permanently. He's just said it there. If I hadn't asked that damn question, he wouldn't have given me the damn answer. From the government's perspective, why reward corruption before we clean it up? So how long will it take them to clean up the militias in their country? This is one of the quiet reasons reform is slow. 4. Political risk inside Iraq, not external. Blah, 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 blah. See? 5. Forex listing does not equal government decision. This is critical and often misunderstood. Forex rates reflect liquidity, convertibility, settlement confidence. Iraq still has capital controls, dollar auction legacy issues, partial convertibility. Until those mechanisms are fully cleaned. Oh my gosh, there's your answer. So Swisher just posted something. Oh, big news, blah, blah, blah. Says it quite clearly there. Forex cannot sustainably price the dinar higher, even if Iraq is wealthy. Oh my gosh. So, 6. Iraq doesn't need to rush. This part is often ignored. From Iraq's point of view, oil revenue is strong, inflation is low, reserves are high, budget is functioning. So the internal question becomes, why rush a risky move when patience costs us nothing? See? I think this one, I understand why, people like my friend Sean gets really frustrated because it says quite clearly there. They've got great stability. The inflation is low compared to my country, New Zealand, and other countries. They're one of the richest, like Chatgbt said, the 5th richest country in the world. But their problem, like I always said, is the friggin' militias. And like I've said a couple of times tonight, it's like friggin' bloody 4 o'clock in the morning. See how hard I do. I wasn't even going to post the RV, but I thought, oh my gosh, I need to share this. But doesn't it just frustrate you? I don't want to make people frustrated, but it frustrates me. Is that every day, like Sasha, blah, 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 talking about the Forex. Well, it's just stated there quite clearly. What if Forex want to have, they give 2 shits whether Iraq is rich. The fact that they have militias in their country and they've got these trillions worth of dinars out there, which is, as I said, is already in the hands of the militias. So, let's see. The blunt truth said gently. A revaluation is not reward for wealth. It's a tool used only when money supply is right. Corruption risk is reduced. Political consensus exists. IMF alignment is secured. Market infrastructure is ready. Iraq is closer than it was, but not at the final switch flip point. So when they just say, guys, we're close to, the flip of the switch is close, or this flip of this whatever, they're not even near it. I'm sorry, but a lot of people probably feel the same way. So does my friend Sean. Because it's just like, as I said earlier last week, it's like having a frickin', not one carrot, it's a frickin' 100 carrots. Here's another carrot, go run. Here's another carrot, go run. And it's the same every day. So, excuse my feeling about this, but if I hadn't asked that question, then we would never know. So then my next question was, so at the end of the day, it's IMF that are holding back Iraq and the militias. The IMF are not read that again. The IMF are not exactly squeaky clean when they had in the past taken advantage of poor nations like Zimbabwe. Chatgbt response, in my opinion, basically don't give a that's what I put. Don't give a F for people. That's what I'm saying. That's what it is. IMF, you can see in the past, if you know all about Zimbabwe and how IMF and the World Bank treated Zimbabwe, they basically put a donkey, not a donkey, a carrot in front of the Zimbabwe government and there, that's your carrot. Would you like a donkey as well? So they didn't give a F of people. They didn't care about people's poverty. They only care about a country's economic stability, which is fair enough. I get it. So ChatGPT responds, I hear what you're saying, blah, blah, blah. So he said, short answer, first plain truth. No, it's not the IMF alone holding Iraq back. And yes, the IMF has the problematic history, especially with poorer nations. Exactly. Both things are true at the same time. Let's separate the players properly. One, the IMF is not a ruler. It is a gatekeeper. The IMF does not control Iraq. See? But it sets conditions for countries that want international credibility, currency stability recognition, global banking access, protection from speculative attacks. Iraq chose to work within that system. The IMF advises, conditions, delays, pressures, but it cannot force Iraq to do anything on its own. 2. Militias are an internal Iraqi problem, not IMF created. The militias exist because of post-war power vacuums are tied to politics, oil, and a big one, smuggling, undermine monetary reform. The IMF uses militia risk as a justification, but it did not create them. It cannot remove them. It will not approve big currency moves while they exist. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Iraq must clean its own house. There's what it says there. Iraq must clean its own house before the IMF signs off, whether we like the IMF or not. So about Zimbabwe, yep, you're absolutely right, blah, blah, blah. The IMF and World Bank did exploit structural weakness in several nations, including Zimbabwe. What happened there? Forced austerity, currency collapse, debt traps, loss of sovereignty. Ordinary people paid the price, so your distrust is earned, not paranoid. However, in this matters, Iraq is not Zimbabwe. I understand that. But, if IMF was an organization that was able to help the people, you would have thought they would have given them the means to, the machinery for them to collect all the in-ground assets. Oh, no, they didn't do that. Anyway, that's basically what it is. So why Iraq is treated differently. Iraq has massive oil revenue, blah, blah, blah. So on and so on and so on. So Why people feel the IMF is a villain? Because from the outside, Iraq looks ready, inflation is low, reserves are strong, so on and so on and so on. The IMF's role is to say, if this goes wrong, the fallout is global, not just Iraqi. See people? We've just been chasing a freaking donkey holding a carrot in its mouth. But not one carrot, as I said, freaking 1,000 carrots. Oh my gosh. So, it's just like TNT totally just posted something and I just thought to myself, I ain't going to respond. There's no point asking ChatGPT because I already knew the stupid answer. Like, and he keeps saying, oh yeah, the bank's ready, blah blah blah, and then what's her name, Texas Snakes is the same thing. Oh, the banker says it's really close. No, you're not. We're not even near bloody close. Message from the universe. Now this is going back December 29, 2025. Energy is a mirror. Life gives back what you put into it. When you lead with kindness, it finds its way back to you. When you show up with love, love eventually circles back around. When you give your best, the universe notices and responds in ways you don't always expect, but always need. You get what you give, not always right away, and not always in the way you think, but the energy you put out matters. Your effort, your intention, your heart, it all echoes back. So keep giving your light, keep choosing compassion, keep doing good even when no one is watching, because what you give to the world remembers, and it will find its way back to you multiplied. This was posted by the Spiritual Magic.
Thank you for listening. May the light guide your steps, truth protect your heart, and discernment strengthen your spirit. You are seen, you are supported, and you are never alone. Please like and subscribe.
This video is for general informational and spiritual discussion only. All content shared here reflects publicly available intel, spiritual perspectives, and personal interpretation. Nothing in this video is medical advice, financial advice, or guaranteed prediction. Always use your own discernment and make decisions that feel right for you.